Today we are going to be looking at the Gemmy 2006 life-size Posable Bride prototype. Now, this is a pretty crazy one. This is a piece that I would have never imagined even seeing in person, yet I own it. Just like the Dawn of the Dead on the left there, even seeing it in person is truly incredible. And the fact that I own both of these is, quite frankly, a blessing. And it's very similar in construction to the one in the stock photo that you've probably seen on the box or online at various points. Now, this one was in pretty rough shape when I acquired her, not as rough as the Dawn on the left there. The Donna was, laying in a field, her base was gone, I saw like a foot just randomly next to her, her foot. It was very, very bad with the Donna, but with the Posable Bride, she had some notable issues, but it was nothing too major, but still pretty significant. So probably the biggest issue is that with her cosmetics, she was missing some parts, and thankfully, and she was also missing part of her electronics on the inside. Thankfully, CJ Webler and I were able to come together and source those missing parts, and so we were able to fully bring her back to life as she originally was. And there's some things that could be improved, which were improved in production, but a majority of things were downgraded for production. The main thing that I think was improved in production is the shoulders, because this has the same shoulder span as like a football player. Her shoulders are very, very wide, and it just doesn't look that natural. Everything else, though, cosmetically, is just really well done, and I would choose it over a produced looking one any day. In fact, I will go ahead and throw a side by side on the screen right now. You can see that there is just such incredible differences when it comes to detail. And there were two generations of this item. There was the 2006 model, which had the kind of classic Gemmy head connector, and then the 2007 Posable characters had the little peg. Now this one, of course, has the typical head connector like the 2006 Posable characters do. But I'll go ahead and give you a closer look, because there's a lot that's different from production here. So first off, you have the face. Very nicely detailed, very creepy. Like you saw in the side-by-side, a lot more detail on this one. This one is resin. Yeah, very detailed, different from production. In many ways, you got a big motion sensor right there on her neck, and her eyes are green. Production has yellow eyes. I already mentioned the shoulders. Here are her hands. They're resin, and I don't remember if my produced, well, I have an 07 model sample that I've already showed on the channel, and I don't remember if the sculpt goes this far up or not with those hands, but they are the same hands. Just, these are resin hands. And obviously in production, these will be vinyl instead of resin. Probably the craziest and mind-blowing thing here is this is a very early prototype of Posable characters, because the collapsed mech is made out of PVC pipes, which I would have never guessed, and you probably wouldn't have either, but kid you not, it is made of PVC pipes, and the base is a Donna base, or a 2006 Dancing Pirate skeleton base. So I will just show you how crazy this is here. So you can see that it's literally PVC pipes that have been pink stuffed onto the base. You can see where the regular collapsed mech would be. If I raise the fabric up a little more here, you'll see that there's a smaller pipe, and then farther up I go, there's an even smaller pipe, etc. So it's a telescoping thing. Doesn't work the best, obviously, but it's still rather, it does get the job done, but obviously this is not up to production standards, just having PVC pipes. You can also see that it's a little unstable. The base is unstable because there's some cracks in it, but you can see I can just, turn her around really easily. So definitely not production grade there, but she's just an incredible piece, as well as the Donna, just such an upgrade cosmetically looking from the produced ones, in my opinion. And it's really freaky. That's why I decided to use it on Halloween, which some of you spotted her in the display. So I figured I would go ahead and reveal her, if you will. And I will now cut to her in action. So we will now demonstrate her for you. Now really quickly, here we have the body of the 2007 model. Now this one, the head is not here at the moment, so I cannot show it to you with the head on. And this one I do believe is some kind of pre-production sample. I know it was used at an expo, but there's nothing resin on it or anything. The board was production on it. But some of the plastic is weird, and there's just a few weird little things about it that I've noticed from other 2007 models. But as you can see off the bat, very different build here. You can see that her shoulders are a lot less broad. You can see this is that peg connector here. So that's literally how the head plugs in. You can see the hands. Oh yeah, wow, so this is where the arm stops on production, that far in, and on these it goes a little bit longer. So it's a neat little detail. Now the hands kept detail pretty well from the prototype. They honestly look very similar aside from the paint. The head is a different story. The head ended up being like produced on the Dead, where it's just this kind of unnatural yellow color. It's shiny injection mold plastic. It just doesn't look as good. It also doesn't match the hands, like with Dawn of the Dead. The head does not match the hands. The hands and feet on Dawn of the Dead are life casted, which is why they look so realistic. And then the head is a very low detail sculpt, and it just doesn't really match. And that's the same case with this item here. So it doesn't really match that well. The head is literally like a yellow color, and it's shiny. And these are not shiny at all, and it's kind of got a pink tone to it. And with this though, it matches perfectly. And this looks like it would have been vinyl, like the Butler heads in production. But of course it was changed to something else. But yeah, as usual with resin items, there's a lot more detail. The paint they spent more time on, and just It's a very well done sculpt, very creepy and unsettling. The belt's relatively the same, but yeah, it's just a lot wider on the prototype. And also the bases are different. You can see this base is kind of a, this is just a 5-foot character oval base, and this one is a different shape, and it has the telescoping mech in it. And to bring her down, just twist this and lower it. And it's obviously a lot different story with this one. But yeah, that's all I have to say at this point. Really incredible piece. I like it much better than either produced model, even the 06 model. Despite the really broad shoulders, I think she is just super creepy and unsettling, and I love the realistic details on her for a budget prop, because these are like low-cost budget items. In fact, I have the box for the Reaper right here. This is an 07 model, but it retailed for $39.99. Adjusted for the ridiculous inflation today, that would still be like maybe around $100, and just with all the detail you get, or maybe like $70 or something, and with all the detail you get, it would have been very worthwhile. But hope you guys enjoyed, and thanks for watching.